Welcome in everybody, welcome into Rossiya Airlines Moscow to Sochi flight. Happy October, happy Halloween, I hope you're all having a fantastic week. Thought I'd throw in a nice surprise flight today. I was kind of looking for something a bit productive to do in my free time, so I thought, you know what, I'll do another flight. It's not going to be as long as I thought it would be either. So it's about 2 hours, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, something like that. So we're on the ramp. I still have to configure my honeycomb throttle setup, but still, we're on the ramp and waiting to get on with the flight and put the import in. So, as I say, 2 hours 20 minutes, and I've got to hop into the aircraft. Got an IRS thing going off on the outside, but everything else is normal. We're in here with, we're in here with about however long it says. IRS mode align, which means it'll take a while. I think it can only align on, is it the APU it can align on? Let's do the APU then. Usually it would give you a timer unless it's already done it. Let's get all the stuff on. Let's get the hydraulics, all the pumps. I can't see the point of putting generators on until the engines are started, so I guess that's up to you. Yeah, up to you what you do on that one. Well, I suppose we should. Let's just do what I usually do. I'm trying to do it a bit different. No point, is there? Right, trim air, so we need to get that on. Recirculation fans. The equipment cooling to normal. The cargo heat, we'll keep that off just for the time being.
Sheremetyevo трафик Россия 6005, полностью 24 левая, подъем 24
Been nice actually just to relax and listen to the audio on the ground here at Moscow. We got a few aircraft in the vicinity, landing and departing there, so there's a few aircraft in the area. And then it's on to Sochi, which is, as I say, one of the more difficult approaches, but then again, I don't really do easy approaches, do I? So very famous, we come down probably quite steeply over the mountains, and then we'll come in over the water, but I hope it's over the mountains, and then we'll be coming in for landing a pretty narrow and slim runway, to be fair. So I hope you've all packed your October swimming trunks or whatever it is you're going to be bringing. It's a Black Sea resort place, I think. That's what everyone knows it for, being right next to the Black Sea, so it's like the holiday spot for all the Russians and probably surrounding countries, Bulgaria, etc, etc. Just about done here with the honeycomb yoke.
Speed brakes up.
Okay, we don't want the speed brakes up. Let's just disengage all the reverse thrusters. Somehow.
Reverse is normal.
Reverses. There we go. I think it's disengaged now. Anyway, back to the IRS. I wonder what we're doing wrong. I thought it would work before, but obviously there's no timer on there, so I'm guessing it's already done it. Let's enter our GPS position and just see what happens. I don't even think you have to wait for the IRS, but I could be wrong. Because just usually there's a timer. I just cannot see it today. I'm going a bit blind and passive on some of these flights lately. So let's get our flight plan up. UUEE to URSS. We want fuel, 31,000 fuel. We're going to take extra this time just in case, although it is only a couple of hours in the flight. Oh, we've already got 38,000, that's plenty. Oh, so that's payload, isn't it? We've already got 30,000 though, that's nearly enough. We're going to take 34,000 today, which is not in the centre, which is surprising. And then for weight and balance, we do that in the FMC down here. 8.1 on cargo. Total payload, I just entered the total payload. 33.9. So it's rounded it up there to 34, and it's auto input the packs, but it hasn't put the passengers cargo in, which I always find just a little bit odd, but I guess that's just the way it does it. Anyway, that's the right payload. 0 fuel weight, 216. Let's get the route back up. So everything's come to life pretty quickly. I wonder if there was something just a bit glitching out there with the IRS. Anyway, back down to the flight plan. We're going to input the waypoints. One of my favourite airports to depart from, Sheremetyevo Airport, and we're going to go to Sochi, which I've never really done a proper flight to. So it should be good. And this will be flight number 222 today. My mistake. Not taking off on 222. Oh, come on, it's got to let me remove it. Anyway, departures, arrivals. We are taking off runway 24 left, I think that's right. Unless, I was under the impression actually we landed on, taking off 24 centre. And landing 24 left, because I'm obviously used to coming in from the other direction, because when we land usually it would be, it's hard to see where he went, but that looks like either a 747 or an Airbus A380. Let's just enter it in anyway and see what happens. Emga's Free Hotel. Arrival. We want the Binol 1 kilo arrival to runway 02. See, that's Banal, not Binol, but Binol's slightly further down there. Easy to make a mistake in these sort of things. So we've got two options. We've got glide slope, localizers, RMP. Just select the glide slope for now, with no transition. Check the legs. Actually, you probably want to check the route and then just obviously input what's missing. So 222 should not be in that first one. We don't want that there. That is there, of course. MGO's T. I admit it is a lot easier to just do it. Do it with a downloaded flight plan. Oh my goodness. N72. Okay, N72 to the URSS. Hasn't come up, it seems to have removed a few waypoints there. I've had problems with the 747 FMC before. Let's just skip it. saying discontinuity, but I'm trying to put the bin there. Seems very odd, doesn't it? That it's not transferring over. For some reason it's done that. Didn't want to do that though, but let's go back to the legs page and try it that way. Okay, we just have to make do with missing out a few waypoints, I guess. Hopefully that's worked. It's not really got the waypoints I was expecting, but it is what it is, isn't it? As long as it gets us there, I suppose that's all that matters. Anyway, initialization. For some reason our display's all over the place. What we transponding at the moment? Nothing, but let's put the brakes in RTO. 7,000 will be the default. Let's get those on. Ready for boarding or whatever, they're probably on board already. I don't know what it is with my mouse. I mean, I read online that apparently it can be a little bit dirty and it can click all over the place. It kind of makes it a little bit of a pain. I need to upgrade my mouse. Anyway, 1:45 is local time for me in the GMT. Moscow is now 3 hours ahead because of the clock changes in Britain, so there's not really any way of changing that, so just bear in mind we're 3 hours ahead Moscow time. Okay, that's right, zero fuel weight came out fine. Cost index, probably quite a lot on this one. Let's see how bad, yeah, 320, thought it'd be a lot. It's quite a popular destination. Reserves, well, minimum takeoff is, trip is 19, something like that, 11 or something on reserves. Cruising altitude 39,000 feet. Unable, well, I have to do it at the limit we set it. Okay, thrusters going to go maximum today. Going to go for the 10 degrees of flaps, and there's the VR speeds. Trim wheels working fine. 4.1 on the trim. Maybe 150 on the V2 speed. That's always quite handy. Anything above 140 is good. And that's it. We are pretty much ready to go now. That was the quickest startup I think ever, just because of that IRS thing. Unless I've... Let me just check. Actually, I may have changed it. That might be my fault, guys, for messing around with the settings. No, the IRS is still set to 10 minutes. How odd is that? Anyway, ground crew can come off. We're on the APU now. Let's get them disconnected from the beastly 747. Looks really stunning as well, this livery. It's one of the best. No, I've never had any issues. Never had any issues. Fingers crossed. Okay, let's get our... AC's not available, that's fine. We're going to use Unicom. And there's only one other plane here, so he is taking off 24 centre. I'm sure we'll be fine taking off 24 left, because there's not really any other planes landing at the moment. I really wish they'd put taxiway names on there, because there is a name for it, so we have to go into the chart every time you want to get information like that. Of course, we need Q&H as well, so Q&H here is 999. And they are all indeed programmed to be synced. Just saves a heck of a lot of time. We're going to set our altitude. Stick our logo lights and our beacons on for now. Ground movement chart. Okay, so as you can see, it says Charlie there for the terminal. Charlie. Terminal A, B, and C. And then for our takeoff, obviously 24 left, we're going to be taxiing. Looks like November. All the way down. It's not the clearest map, I have to say. Yeah, it's not the clearest. Anyway, we're going to get going.
Ground to cockpit. Tower is driving up.
Awesome. Moscow Sheremetyevo traffic, Romeo Alpha 84 Sierra Bravo, pushing back from Terminal C onto Charlie.
Okay, all doors and hatch are closed. Ready to connect.
Brilliant. Yeah, there's no... sometimes you get at airports, they will have names and numbers, etc. for the stands, but they won't appear on the scenery all the time, which is unfortunate. Let's just get a wide view of this. Look at how big our plane is, guys. I mean, you can see it from miles away. And the airport's full of 747s. It's just one of those airports. Anyway, we're pretty clear in terms of taxiing.
Ground to cockpit. Please show me where you want to go.
Let's go back there to the nearest one.
Tower connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Brilliant. Just give us 1 second down there on the ground, Sergey. We're going to stick the lead air figs on, just get them through the engines. Recirculation. Let's stick the... We'll wait for the engines for the after cargo heat. And let's go for a number 2 and a number 4 start. We'll make up a random squawk code. This is like the tradition now on this. We're 222 today, flight number, so we might as well be squawk code 222. Copy description still on, guys, because we've got that new flight tomorrow in the new aircraft, the A330-300. I'm really looking forward to it. It's just as big as the 747, if not. Anyway, parking brake, I think, released. We have released it. I'm wondering now, of course, Chalk's my fault.
Starting pushback, and you may start engine.
Well, we're already in the process. Let's get the fuel in. One of the louder planes as well. Okay, cool, that was pretty quick, so let's go for number 1 and 3 just now. So, all smooth, no issues on the start-up. What temperature are we at? +7, so I guess we probably do need the anti-ice. And we should really have all fuel pumps on at this point. $20 start up, that's impressive. I'm actually looking forward to getting there. This is one of the cooler, more relaxed planes and flights, 100%. So what's going on with fuel? Have we got full fuel in the centre? No, so you can see there, fuel there is 0 on each. We have got enough, we've taken plenty of extras, so we shouldn't have any issues with fuel. Let's get our flight directors. Let's just wait till we do the pushback. We've got... When you see these guys, these aircraft guys, the lights on, they're not actually people. I mean, obviously they are, but they're not on the online network. It's just the default aircraft. As you can see, we've only got the Aeroflot there, and we're pretty much ready to go. After that, we're going to be taxiing, as I say, down November. We're saying Bravo on there, so conflicting information yet again with the charts. Our tablet's gone pitch black. I'm looking at the wrong thing, 24 center, but here say Bravo, says Bravo right down to 4 center for some reason. But on here there's an extra taxiway, whereas on the chart there isn't. It's coming up as November.
Set parking brake.
A little bit of conflicting information there.
Disconnecting valve. Please stand by.
Well, we're giving them a call out anyway. We're going to be taxiing at the same time. Let's get... we need the anti-ice on. Let's get the anti-ice on the engines. Everything else is looking clean in terms of the set-off departure configuration. Auxiliary pump on automatic now. I think that's good. In terms of lights, we're good. We can stick the transponder now onto on mode, and then we stick on TCAS prior to takeoff. So as you can see down here, I've talked about this before, but if it does say the generator's disconnected, you might want to just turn them off and turn them back on. Technically, the generators can stay off until engines start.
Send signal on the left. We'll see you next time, and have a safe flight.
Okay, we're going to set 10 degrees of flaps prior to taxi. Bring our taxi thrust up to where we need it, prior to releasing the parking brake. A bit of a flap issue going on as well. Okay, I think it's just about hooked into 10 degrees there. Let's say the taxiway from the chart, 'cause that's the official one, although it's supposed to, maybe I'm reading it wrong, maybe that is taxiway Bravo. It looks like it says November a lot up there, but it's obviously Bravo, isn't it? Sheremetyevo traffic, Romeo Alpha 84 Sierra Bravo is taxiing to 24 left via taxiway Bravo. Let's get going, guys. Okay, quick flight control check actually. So you got ailerons, elevators. Secure my yoke in place. It's coming a little bit loose. One of the things you gotta be aware of with all the hardware is do not let it slip off, because it will cause many issues. Throttles we have speed brakes, we have flaps. Do we have rudder though? No, I don't think we do have rudder. So we need to correct this issue on the settings. I do so by... well, you've even got wing sweep there, that's pretty cool. Let's just change that, and then we'll change it again. Some reason, as I say, it will do it, so just be aware to disconnect any devices that may cause a conflict. And now when you move it, it's now got ground wheel steering. Let's get going. Takes the lights on. Welcome in everyone as well. So glad to see people enjoying the flights, and it's great to see more channels and to get to know more channels as well. Been watching quite a lot of not shorts but short clips of people just doing landings and takeoffs and things, real and in simulation. It's just been good to see that there's so many out there that are doing a great job, especially on the sims. Got a few favourite simmers who do it on a regular basis who do a pretty good job. Let's just check our LNAV actually. So armor auto throttle, we can't do it yet. So as you can see, generators have tripped off again. Might indicate there's an issue there with the engines, although then again we are running the APU. Let's close the APU down. Let's close the APU bleed air. Let's get the packs on. Generators tripped. Maybe we're not generating enough power from the engines. As you can see, it's gone off again, so yeah, maybe a power engine thing. I think someone else is giving a call out, but unfortunately they're really quiet. cannot hear them at all. And it's also really, really overcast here, like really gloomy weather. And that VNAV, so 150, that's our V2 speed. As I say, I think this guy over here may be giving a call out, but I can hear like faint whispers coming through the ATC audio. Takes you down here anyway, takes you down Bravo. You take the next right here, then left. I think, where is he? He's coming towards the taxiway ahead, so we got to keep an eye out. We're going to take a... Oh wow, that's a pretty plane, look at that. That's really nice. Moscovia Airlines. Let's go past him and have a closer look, shall we? I hope you can see my cool Rossiya Airlines livery as well. Yeah, really nice aircraft he has available. Like to know where to get that livery from. The flowers are beautiful. Super careful on the turn, guys. You gotta be super careful, especially with speed. Keep it nice and slow, because you'll end up skidding all over the place. Wheel can't handle fast turns. And don't make them too steeply. If you want to keep it nice and perfect. Obviously, people will do it how you want. It's up to you. Have fun. Just be aware, if you want to do it perfectly, you're going to do it nice and smooth. Don't make sudden turns. Yeah, so this week it's a little bit different on the schedule. I've done a few different flights, different times. This one's a little bit off schedule as well. Tomorrow there's the A330-300, which I'm looking forward to. And then afterwards on Friday there'll be the Halloween streams, and there won't be any aviation streams this week on Friday, just because of Halloween, and I'm going to be doing other streams instead. But then next week on Monday we resume pretty much as normal, and I'll be doing more A330 flights then, and probably 747 as well. Aircraft behind taking the short turn off to the runway there. It makes me think he's not going to have enough room. He's probably not got many people on board. I literally cannot hear anything he's saying. His audio's super quiet. Since he's taken off on 24 center, we probably need to do the same, although we're programmed for 24 left, so let's go ahead and cross onto 24 left. And stick our transponder on at the moment, and our strobe lights, our logo lights are on, our cargo heat should be on. Let's take that on as well, in case we're going to do cold cargo below. Food, etc., frozen food, or perhaps some other cold items, I don't know. Something like that. Imported fish, maybe some corpses, deceased remains, however you want to put it. He's off. Let's go ahead and hold short just a second. We got everything ready. Outbound lights, we could pretty much taxi straight onto runway 24 left. Sheremetyevo traffic, Romeo Alpha 84 Sierra Bravo is departing runway 24 left. Moscow Sheremetyevo traffic. We've got pretty much the whole runway here. There's not much more we could have used unless we go to the end there and do a turnaround, but it's completely pointless. Got enough room, let's go ahead and make our turn. Looks absolutely stunning as we go into the sunset. Let's just allow that rear end to straighten up. And pretty much lined up, so let's just hold short. Let's do a check on the throttles. There you see there, no alarms went off. Speed brakes are just somehow deployed. Not sure why. Yeah, that's why I do that check, guys, in case something like that happens. Maybe it's because it thinks we're doing a landing. Anyway, let's go for it. Balance the throttles, going to warm them up. Just make sure he's clear of the area. Our turn there will be to the south. It's going to be doing a U-turn though to the right and then to the southbound. So we need to be going pretty quick up to flight level 390. QNH is set, brakes on, RTO, strobes, landing lights, pack seatbelts. Let's get going. Takes a nice, relax the yoke. V1 speed. Rotate. V2.
Positive rate.
Yeah, coming up. Engines are overheated massively. They set too much thrust on it. Let's pitch up a little bit more. Should be switching over to the N1 speed. There we go, it's slowed down a little bit now. It was overheating massively there on the departure. There she goes, Rossiya Airlines is flying now, soaring up to a cruising altitude of 39,000 feet. Go ahead and stick the autopilot on. You see it pitches up massively there to aim for 187, that's fine. Let's get our charts. Let's just have a quick look at our departure. Okay, flaps to 5. Romeo Alpha 84 Sierra Bravo, Moscow Sheremetyevo traffic, climbing to flight level 390 on the Emgus Free Hotel departure. Yes, very odd how the charts go dull like that. Maybe I'm pressing the key by accident. So there's flaps 5. Let's go to a little bit of a higher altitude before we retract some more. Maybe 8,000 feet, just to be on the safe side. Stunning. Getaway, flaps up. 2, 1. Not quite 10,000 feet. It's going to see, as you can see in the FMT there, it's going to continue to climb now to our pre-assigned altitude. Kesvu is the usual transition for Moscow Sheremetyevo Airport. It's 15,000 feet. And of course, flaps are coming up. Poka, Moscow. Incoming to Sochi, estimated flight time was 2 hours and 20 minutes. 2 hours 30 minutes probably because of the start up. And as you can see, we're going into sunset, so it's probably going to be an extremely tricky landing. Especially if we come through that valley over the mountains, as I was saying earlier. But anyway, look at that, beautiful there, and a beautiful sunset, excuse me, as we can leave the Moscow region. Let's get our landing lights off. Let's stick our anti-ice on.
10,000.
10,000 feet. I think we're sort of semi-established in climb. We'll wait until we get to a bit of a higher altitude before I turn the fasten seatbelt signs off. Just slowly accelerating now, probably up to our 258, but it'll probably increase up to about 300 knots. As you can see down here, 250, then 270 when we get to 14,000 feet around Kesvu. At this point, we should probably just continue to climb. These are like 2 altitudes because there's obviously a conflict there in the altitudes. If we want to climb, we can just click flight level change. It'll take us up to 39,000 feet. Audio brakes are off, transponder is indeed still on. Quadruple twos. I think we're about there, guys. When we do this turn, I'm waiting for the Kesvu transition for the seatbelts, just because then it's going to be a bit smoother for people to walk around the cabin. We don't want them falling over. Just turn the audio down a bit because it's a little bit loud for you guys. And myself, of course. You'll notice on departure I didn't really bother with the minimums. That's absolutely fine. Let's go ahead and set standard pressure anyway. We're about 14,000 feet, which is around the transition. Transition, as I say, is around 14, 15, which is Kesvu. a lot higher than Manchester's 5,000 in Moscow, so I suppose just different rules and different aviation laws there, which is always interesting to learn about. Okay guys, I'm going to turn the seatbelt signs off so you're free to walk around. I'm going to step away and leave the co-pilot in charge. And we also have somebody in a jump seat today. I don't really know who they are, I've never flown with them before, but welcome in. Okay, I'm going to go away and get a drink, and I'll leave you to all enjoy the flight, and I'll be here monitoring and sitting back and relaxing, and I'll chip in now and again to update on arrival time. Should be 2 hours from this point on anyway. There's the top of the climb, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to be cruising now for not very long, and then we'll be arriving in Sochi. Nobody's sun is in about 500 nautical miles. The main leg of the flight there is 500 nautical miles south. It's not going to be as long as you think. The estimated flight time was 2 hours, but we've had a very strong headwind of about 50 or 60 knots. So about 55 now. So that's going to push us back. Obviously that would decrease our speed. So yeah, 500 nautical miles. I'll speak to you when we get there. I hope you're all looking forward to landing at the beach resort next to the Black Sea. I am. been a long flight, everybody. I'm still here, still looking forward to this night landing in Sochi Airport. Everyone get off the plane when we get there and go relax in your hotel, of course, and then in the morning go out and explore the beaches beside the Black Sea, although it'll be a bit chilly this time of year. So yeah, we're near the top of descent, at which point we're going to start our descent down to 20,000 feet. We've had a pretty severe headwind, crosswind coming in about, was originally at 50 or 60, and now it's gone up to 75, so quite considerably there from the from the west. So this pre-sign our altitude is 20,000 feet. It's saying about 150 nautical miles until we get there, but yeah, I was concerned on the climb out because obviously 50 knots on the headwind would reduce it from 270 to about 220, which is what we were climbing at originally, to 39,000 feet. So yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on that. Thankfully, I mean, that's going to give us a tailwind on landing, which is a bit of a pain. But then again, the approach over the mountain in this kind of lighting in the night time probably isn't the safest thing to be doing anyway. So let's pre-assign 20,000 as I said, and when we've gone to 20,000 we'll follow that to pit up, or ADL in this case, and then pit up is the U-turn spot, at which point we'll turn back to final and start to descend to 2,000 feet. What's the flight number? The flight number today is 222. 222. I have considered actually London to Sydney, but it's a very, very long time. And I think, given my look in the 747, something would probably go wrong. Something would definitely probably go wrong on that flight. We'd either run out of fuel or the engines would burst into flames or something like that. I am wanting to do a flight from Sydney though at some point, and we'll do a flight from Sydney to Christchurch. How about that? Cool, so now our fuel is running slightly low. As you can see, we've got 16 gallons there. We estimated to use about 20 gallons, leaving us with 10 left for reserves. But at this rate, because of this strong wind, we're probably going to start digging into those reserves anytime soon. As you can see there, actually the reserve tanks are completely empty, but we still got reserve fuel on board. As our top of descent, everybody, so we're going to descend down, excuse me, 20,000 feet into Sochi, and it's a very distinct arrival. I have had some issues with the 747 before at this particular airport when we get to the pit-up U-turn where the aircraft simply can't manage it, and then the system will go haywire, so let's hope today it works. Anyway, it's 20,000 feet. And then we're going down, say it's 90 nautical miles, so we've not got any worries just yet until we get to pit up. And then it's 8,000 down to 2,000 feet, of course. If you're wondering what the arrival is, of course it's a star procedure. This is for these stars available. I think ours is the Bannock 1 kilo arrival, and we can double check that on the flight plan. No, so it's the Binnell 1 kilo arrival. So we do in fact have the correct chart available, which actually makes me think we probably don't even need the pit up waypoint. We can just go straight to the Binnell one, which is somewhere over there, and that would be a lot better actually for us. So there's Binnell. This will be the arrival Binnell, but I guess it's still taking us to pit up, so down this waypoint, and then I'm not really sure where. I can see on the flight map there that it's just a straight line rather than coming in at an angle here and then potentially flying this way and down to the runway, which would be a lot easier. Local time now for GMT is 10 to 4 in the afternoon, so that would make it 7 o'clock at night in Moscow time, and I think Sochi is slightly different, so give me a second everybody, I'll have a look. Okay, Sochi is also the same time as Moscow, so 5 to 7 in the evening. If you are new here and you're wondering when I stream, or perhaps you're a regular returning viewer and you enjoy my streams, this week's been slightly different to the usual schedule, which is Grantham CPT on a Monday, Wednesday and Friday at 1:30 in the afternoon for a couple of hours on the X-Plane 12 simulator. If you are enjoying, please remember, if you are enjoying, then just simply participate in the comments in the chat and let me know what your favourite aircraft is. I've got a suggestion here in chat to London to Sydney. I think practically that's probably not going to be possible just yet, because it's not going to be possible to do it in one flight, that's for sure. There's going to have to be multiple stops. There's no real flight in real life that does it, but we can certainly do that at some point in the future. And I'm also looking to do hopefully London to New York as well. Okay, we got some other traffic here at Sochi Airport. We're arriving Zubir 02, so we're coming down there. Let's get this tuned nav 2 and that into ADF. If we were going to be landing on runway 20, which is the opposite side, this would bring us over the mountains. I have done it before, but it's always a very challenging approach, as you can see. So if we were doing that, we'd be coming round probably straight in actually at this angle. I just hope these other aircraft aren't departing in the opposite direction, but they shouldn't be. Although it's giving 02 for departures as well, which is good. Well, again, it's going to give us a tailwind. Let's set the course for the ILS. So 22, relatively simple one. Wonder why that is giving us 2-2. Should be 0-2, I think. Let's get it off the chart instead. So 0-2-2, yeah. Correct. For whatever reason, it doesn't want to enter into the course. Let's hope it works, even if we're not going to be entering the course in. Anyway, let's get our calculation on speed done. So the approach, 140, that's pretty good. We'll go maximum flaps. 30 degrees at 145. Add 5 degrees on for the wind. Well, in this case, we might have to be we probably have to be a lot faster if the wind is still pretty strong on arrival. Let's do it on this one instead. The other one's not working today. I don't know what it is. Never have any issues, but then hopping in occasionally it will cause. Like today, we had an IRS thing go wrong, and strange. There we go, 145. We'll leave the course off. Since we're descending down 20,000 feet, and then we've got 53 till we descend down to 8,000, so we don't have to descend again just yet. Let's just set our auto brakes. Number 2 today. Sochi traffic, Romeo Alpha 84 Sierra Bravo, descending to flight level 200. The Bipple 1 Kilo arrival for runway 02. I'm starting to think we should probably land on that mountain approach because of the wind direction, and it would also be a straight-in approach that way. That is in the arrival we've been given. Obviously we changed depending on the time and things. This guy's taken off 24. I think he's taken off 24, so that means 220 is probably the better one to land on. Although if we land on that, we'll have to backtrack. We'll just stick with 202 for now. As I say, if it was the other one, it'd be over the mountains and it'd be a very dangerous approach. We're almost there anyway, guys. We're just about to begin our rubber descent now to 8,000 feet. As you can see, there's that tricky U-turn. There's the go-around thing. In case of a go-around, we're going right, it seems, and then obviously a short turn to avoid all the mountains. Let's hope the aircraft can handle this. Let's go for a flight level change. Idle the engines. Speed brakes are armed. Auto brakes are set to a 2. Seatbelt signs on. Parking brake is not on, which is good. In fact, let's do a oh, there's the airport right ahead of us. Maybe we can see that aircraft taking off. There he goes, just saw him taking off. So we're coming in that one. Obviously, if we were going in zip 20, you can see all the mountains around, and you sort of fly through a valley. If it were that approach, you'd fly around here very short over the mountain, and then descend through the valley onto the runway. We've not heard any ATC comms, so that's a little bit worrying. I have given a call out, so we'll have to wait and see what the response from other pilots will be. And of course get the Q&H might be useful. I think it's a 1012, not too far off standard pressure, with a transition altitude of 13,000 feet. And I'm going to set the minimum, so decision height today, based on the airport altitude of something like 87, will probably be about 300 feet for the decision. do it manually, it's a little bit of a pain that. Okay, decision altitude is set. Let's get our, prior to landing, our landing lights on. We'll stick our, as you can see, we've run out of fuel there in the reserve, so it's telling us to turn them off. Right, inbound lights, turnout lights on. Should probably start slowing down at this point as well. Can't change the altitude on that, that's fine. And then we'll be descending down to 8,000 feet anyway. It's quite a messy approach even on 02. One launch of flaps. Okay, time to slow down properly, so let's get our flaps to 5. I think we may have just hit some turbulence. Those instrument lights are always a little bit too bright, I find. Anyways, the sparking mod, if you order it, it's completely free for X-Plane 12, completely free to use as well. So landing speed is about 100. Since we've got tailwind, I'm not too concerned about being too slow. If anything, we'll probably be a little bit too fast. So 145 on the reference. Let's set the altitude 2,000 feet for the approach. Let's get those switched off because there's no fuel left in it, in the reserve section. As you can see there, when it's green, it means the fuel pumps are on, so we'll be pumping them from the engines and the main, but we don't need it in the override at the moment. Having said that, then again, I always do this in the 747 if it runs out of fuel. Just leave them, just leave them on to be sure. Anyway, it's 11 degrees, not too bad. Let's get our anti-ice off. Shouldn't have it on below above 10, and then we've got our window heats. We'll leave them on. Let's just keep descending, otherwise we're not going to be down in time. We're going to decrease our speed to about 210 knots. No movement or comms down there, which again is worrying. We are going to be turning final soon. I just hope nobody's going to be on the runway. Sochi traffic, Romeo Alpha 84 Sierra Bravo is about to do the U-turn at Pitup, 8,000 feet, descending down to 2,000 for runway 02. Repeat, runway 02, Sochi traffic. Make sure people are definitely aware of coming. I really don't want to have a collision on the runway. It's the worst thing we could get, isn't it? It's a real shame you can't change those altitudes because it sometimes messes it up when you use the FMC thing, the VNAV at least. Okay, round we go at the waypoint pit up. We've passed transition altitude. Let's set our local QNH of 21012. So if we had started descending from 8,000 there at pit up, it would have been too slow. Especially using the vertical navigation features. I really do love this plane though, the Sparky 747. It's absolutely brilliant. For a free aircraft, it really blows me away. It's a lot of fun to fly as well. It's a very cool aircraft. Easy to operate. A lot of the things can be changed in the FMC. Anyway, that's 2,500. We're going to be leveling off at 2,000. When we do the U-turn, we should be able to see the runway in sight when we get to probably SS022, I think, and that's obviously the heading we need. Let's check the... So navigation's still not giving us a course. Let's try one more time. 022. Yeah, still nothing on there. It's saying the radial was 020, but we'll just have to leave it and pray that the ILS actually works. Coming in for the glide slope approach. That runway there, most likely taking off 24 like the other guy. There's the runway straight ahead, so we can see the runway in sight. We're going to slow down now using the... Yeah, let's go for the VNAV on the approach, 194. It really isn't the best time of year to come out to Sochi for a nice beach holiday, is it? It's Halloween week, it's spooky week, whatever you want to call it. We're flying through a really bad storm in order to go to the beach. Oh well, we keep positive on this channel, don't we? I'm going to set the taxi lights on just to make it a little bit different, a bit brighter on approach. What else do we need? Let's set the continuous ignition on. I don't usually stick wing lights off, but what the hell, we want to be bright, don't we? Guess it makes it a little bit brighter on the front. Yeah, it looks a lot cooler with the wing lights on. At least that way we can inspect the wings from the cockpit. So obviously if we turn here, we may be able to get a small glimpse. Yeah, so better visibility there in case there's an engine fire or something. That aircraft better not taxi onto my runway. He's going to be taking off right there, just at the angle, and flying into wherever it is he's flying from. So at this point, we might be safe to stick the ILS capture on. We are slightly off course though, which is a bit worrying. Still giving us pit up on the arrival, and then SSO22. I'll stick the localizer switch and the approach switches on.
Too low, flaps. Too low, flaps. Too low, flaps. Too low, flaps.
Why are we descending?
Too low, flaps.
What is going on here with the
Too
autopilot?
low, flaps.
I thought we were...
Too low, flaps. Too low.
The autopilot's pushing us down, but we should be level off at
Too
2,000
low,
feet.
flaps.
What the hell
Too
is
low,
happening?
Flaps. Too low, flaps. Too low,
Have we
flaps.
lost?
Too low, flaps. Too low.
What on the... Oh, this airport again. I don't know what's going wrong. We were like 2,000 feet and then it said
Too
1,000.
low, fla
We got flaps down. We can't be losing lift that badly. It's only 7 knots wind. Let's see the approach switch on anyway. We're like veering off to the left hand side as well. But yeah, we descended like really quickly then down. I didn't even realise. Yeah, so the autopilot's messed up again at this airport. Even though we got it programmed, it looks like we're manually flying it. Thank goodness we've recovered that, otherwise the aircraft would crash. It's all over the place. This is nothing to do with the wind, or possibly it is. So let's go ahead and just take control. Let's get all the flight directors off and things. Let's just disconnect the autopilot if we can, and the auto throttle hopefully can stay on and maintain our landing speed of 145. Let's get another notch of flaps. Yeah, really bad wind actually now. It's changing direction considerably, so we'll begin our descent at this point. Really strange at the Sparky mod, and also I think this is just Russia in general. They always make things go wrong in this country, and it always bewilders me why. The same thing at Moscow Airport, and the aircraft and things will just start going wrong for nothing. And it's been a great flight. So yeah, it's a little bit frustrating. I don't know what they're playing at Laminar Research by doing that. You know, and this is not a Sparky mod glitch either. I mean, now look, we're completely way too high up. We're bouncing all over the place. This has got to be a game issue at this airport with the ILS approach. There's no other explanation for it, because it can't expect us to go to pit up. Oh my god. I have no idea what's happening.
Bank angle.
It's just all over the
Bank
place.
angle.
There's literally no failures, there's nothing.
Sink rate.
500.
Sink rate.
We're now way too high, so this silly game always messes up Russian flights. I don't know why. every single time I fly in Russia, Moscow, anywhere I want to fly well, it just messes the entire thing up. As you can see there, descending down to 2,000, no issues, and then continue descending. Let's get the autopilot on, the flaps up. This is an obvious go around at this point. Every single time at Russian airports, and it's so disappointing. Sochi traffic, Romeo Alpha 84 Sierra Bravo, going round runway 02. Let's just use our heading mode if we can. Need to clear the area before the train kills us all, and back up to 8,000 feet. In fact, no, we won't go to 8,000, we'll go up to 5,000 feet. As you can see the mountains on the left, it makes it so dangerous, this approach. So yeah, let's try one more time with the approach programmed in as we did it originally. That's fine, just because of the flaps. Good thing we've got enough power, we have got about 12 there in the tank still. So yeah, glide slope 02. Selected. In at 1 kilo arrival. Via the pit of transition. So there's always a bug in the here. I don't know if it's I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure it's just an explained thing. I've never had any issues in the actual aircraft doing it. Yeah, I wish they'd just sort it out. Let's get out of the train area and back onto course. Might be because we can't enter the course in as well. Let's go straight to pit up. Actually, let's go straight to whatever that is. Oops. SS02. So it seems like pit is a manually flown approach. But it doesn't tell you that, and the autopilot was on, and it wasn't doing anything basically. Really disappointing. Great flight though so far, just really disappointed on that ending. As you can see, let's find out where it went wrong. So about there, we're coming in. They start going off to the left and sort of descending, but it said we were in level flight and then coming down. Yeah, just complete chaos, wasn't it? Okay, we got to descend again, so we descend slowly this time. I'll do a manual approach, but we'll leave the auto throttle on, provided it'll work. Let's try one more time. Should never fly a plane like that in real life, guys. Or even on a sim, it's terrible. degrees of flaps. I'm just going to use the map this time to find our way to the final, because obviously the glide slope thing, even though it's saying there's one available, it doesn't want to work on this plane, and it doesn't want to work in general. So we'll do it manually with the autopilot and manual flying. Let's go around again. You know what? It's probably going to need a slower approach speed, so we're going to need to go down 180.
$2,500.
Let's see if it'll level off at 2,000 feet this time. There's a magenta line there, which means the autopilot should be working on that part of the approach. And then obviously the end part is manual, but it was on the part with the autopilot functions. Yeah, so a very small space there to manoeuvre in the go around as well, because obviously these terrain warning areas, and probably don't need to bother with that. Wind is absolutely fine, it's not too strong. Let's slow down to 160 prior to turning on to final. There's the airport, there's the runway. I'm just going to take control from here, so should have control. I have control now. We're going to leave the speed thing on. And we're just going to do a nice hand-flown approach. I'm going to come in at a slight angle, so not as long on final. Can't get rid of that for some reason. I can't click off of it. Anyway, almost there, guys. Almost there. Been a long one today. There it is, just off to our right. Final speed 145. Sochi traffic, Romeo Alpha 84 Sierra Bravo, turning final, runway 02. Not a straight approach. I'm absolutely happy not to do a straight one, actually. It might be a lot better. As you can see there, the lift is struggling, so let's get another notch of flaps. Gear down. Glide slope has appeared on the ADF there. Excuse me, not the ADF, the PFD. Too many aviation terms this week. And I'm just going to go full flaps. There's no horizontal guideline in that ILS thing. If you can see, it's just giving me Oh, it is giving me a horizontal. It's not giving me a whatever horizontal vertical line there. Should be two of them, and it's not. Not appearing. Here we go. Anyway, there's the ILS capture. We're just a little bit off to the left. 1,000 feet. Minimum height, decision height is about 300 feet in this one.
Glide slope. 400. Glide slope. Approaching minimum. Glide slope. 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 200. Glide slope.
We're actually on target.
Glide
Just ignore
slope.
that warning, guys.
Glide slope. Glide slope. Glide slope. Glide slope.
100 feet.
Glide slope. 50. 40.
Okay, there's
30.
the London.
20. 10.
Speed brakes.
Speed brakes.
Speed brakes up.
Reverses.
Reverse is normal.
Whoa, it's gone into go around mode for some reason because we switched the
80 knots.
auto throttle off. I have no idea why it does that. We stopped in time, but yeah, you disengage the auto throttle and it kick into go around mode. It's the stupidest thing I've ever seen. And then you can't get it off. For the life of me, cannot get it off. Anyway, retract those.
Reverse is normal.
No, we don't want reverse as normal plane. So this is when AI goes rogue, guys. It starts to mess up things and make it work in not the manner we want it to, put it that way. Auto throttle off, please. Disconnect the auto throttle. What a stupid plane this is. What a stupid aircraft that it cannot function properly at even Russian airports. Oh, right, there, I think we finally got control of the aircraft. Flaps up. Landing lights, turn out lights off. Takes lights on. This is actually a pretty good landing, that. Pretty good, pretty impressed with it. We did a fairly smooth touchdown. Okay, let's go park in the airport. I have no idea what they're saying, the voices are too low. Transponder to standby. Sochi traffic, Romeo Alpha 84 Sierra Bravo, clear runway 02. Taxi into terminal. And just at the same time, we've got an Aeroflot there pulling out of his space. APU's coming online. $16, that's not too bad. A lot warmer than I anticipated. I'm going to turn the cargo heat off for the moment, just because we've arrived now, it's pretty warm. I don't know what's going on, guys, but the controls on the yoke and the rudder are not working. I'm making inputs and they're not making any movements at all there. So I wonder if we've accidentally clicked something off or if it's just simply broke. You see there, I'm turning it and it's turning very, very slowly. It's almost like it's still on takeoff mode. The aircraft has configured itself incorrectly. Hydraulics are on. Let's get that on auxiliary. Maybe that'll help. We've got plenty of fuel on board. Yeah, as you can see, guys, the wheel and things are off. I wonder if there's aileron seem fine. It's just the wheels, so maybe a failure. Again, it doesn't say it, but I'm suspecting that the plane in general is just broken to the point where I don't know what it is, but certain airports will trigger the sparking mod to just become unflyable. This is apparently one of them. We're going to do a head-on collision with that plane otherwise. Let's get parked up somewhere here. So there's a terminal. We're quite a big plane, so I don't know if we're going to fit there, but we'll try it. See the... I won't talk anymore, guys. Just have a good day, everyone. I'll see you next time.